How you guys doing? Hope everybody's doing well for themselves. Obviously, as you can see in the title of the video, we're going to be discussing the 401k while playing UFC 3. Now, I kind of thought about this idea a few nights ago, and I thought it could be a good idea to try and bring two great things people love to do into one category. You know, people love talking about finances. People like playing games. A lot of people that like playing games probably or sometimes may not be able to fully grasp what the person is talking about. Maybe they're explaining it in a very difficult way and they're not really going on the basics. So today I wanted to just focus on the basics of a 401k and not get too deep into it where you kind of lose track of what's happening, you know. So let me give you a background of myself. I myself studied engineering a few years ago, back in 2016, and I've always loved learning about finances. I've always loved gaining more knowledge into this world, and I've been a gamer my whole life. You know, I had the first PS1, you know, I had the Xbox, I had the PSP, the PS Vita, the 3DS, you know, PS3 now, PS4, so I've been playing games for a long time, and you know, in my career now or in my life now, finances are definitely becoming a much more prevalent topic in my life, but I still love playing games at the same time, so I figured why not, you know, kind of kill two birds with one stone here. So you know, first I want to kind of to focus on that the 401k is a very common type of retirement account, but not the only one out there. You know, you have the 403b as well, you have the 457. Typically that's, you know, usually for the government employees and other types of, you know, jobs. The 401k is the much broader and the much more common type of retirement account. So we're going to kind of focus on that today. But within the 401k, you have different types of investments. You know, you have what's called a stock. You know, you may or may not know what a stock is. We can kind of get into that into more detail in a later video, but know for now that within a 401k you can invest into stocks, you can invest into bonds, and you can also invest into something called a target date fund. Now I want to spend some time to focus on that today now, because it's a very new type of investment and it's not really that common. Not many companies offer that, you know, into their retirement account. So it's something that's very new, and what it is obviously when you first begin your career, you're probably going to be, let's say, you know, 22 years old, and at that point you can probably aggressively invest into something. You know, you're not really worried about what's going to happen to your investment, because at that point you can take the hit. If you lose 5,000 at that time, it's okay. You have time to kind of recover and get that money back. Whereas when you're actually 62 years old, I mean, you probably don't want to lose, you know, too much money, because obviously you may be retiring in a few more years, you know, down the road. So at that time you want to probably invest a little bit less aggressive. So the target date fund will actually automatically do it for you. There's no, you know, you having to look at it yourself and you having to take, you know, investments in and out of your allocations. You know, it's automatic for you. So that's the cool thing about the target date fund. I'm really happy that a lot of companies are offering that, you know, as an option within your retirement account. So it's definitely a great thing to always consider as an option within your, you know, investment allocations. But, you know, as you do all these investments into your 401k, you may think that it's safe and it's great because it's a long-term investment, but always know you may lose money. I lost a lot of money myself during this whole COVID thing. Obviously it was very tough to just stay consistent positive, so I lost some money, but obviously now that it's getting a bit safer now outside, my investments are flourishing once again. So always know that with any investment you're gonna always lose, or at least there is potential to lose something, you know. So kind of always keep that in the back of your head. You may lose money, but you may not lose money at the same time, you know. But as I say, you may lose money, the key thing to understand is there's a very, very easy way to almost guarantee yourself making a profit, and that's something I typically call time in the market always beats timing the market. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, a company is doing very well for itself. It's the media is talking about it. Everybody's saying that they just maybe provided a new product that's selling very well. At that time, typically, most investors are gonna put all the money at that time because they think that it's great. That's timing the market. You time it. You say, okay, you're doing good. Boom. Let me go ahead and put some investment into it at that point. Whereas my philosophy says, okay, that's cool. I might put some money down, but my true mindset is time will win me good investments, So typically on a 10-year base, most index funds, which, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and those are common, index funds, and those typically will win in a 10-year base, Not always, but very commonly it will win on a 10-year base. So that's why I would say time in the market will always win you the most money in most situations. But as I discussed this 401k, I would be remiss if I did not talk about the employer match, which is, in my opinion, the most critical thing to make sure your company offers when you're applying to the job. All right. Obviously, when you're applying to the job, you always, ask, hey, I want to make this much money. I want to have these many vacation days and all that stuff. But, as you talk about that and request for that, always make sure that your company does indeed offer you a employer match. And now, if you don't know what that is, let me go ahead and explain it to you now with an example. So let's say you make $1,000 a month, all right? And let's say your company will give you a 6% match, okay? So 6% of $1,000 is $60. So you're gonna be investing your own personal $60 into the retirement account, right? Into the 401k. Now, if they match you 6%, they're gonna match you that extra $60. So it's actually gonna be $120 going into the investment at that point, right? Not just $60, and that's free money. That second 60 is actually free money that the company is giving you to invest. That's why you always go for the match every time. If they offer it, go for the match. If there's a job, there's a company that one offers it and one does not offer it, maybe you should consider your options and look very closely to the company that offers you the match. Very, very important thing to always consider into any job you're applying to. But that's gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it just at that point. I don't want to discuss too much at this point. I want to kind of just talk about the basics. But again, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave me a comment. Please go ahead and like my video. I would definitely like you to like my video. Kind of interesting pun right there, but I would definitely appreciate that. And I would definitely also appreciate if you have any advice for me about the 401k. I will definitely appreciate that as well, because I am still a learner myself. I love learning about investments. I love talking about investments. I am not a pro. I am not a professional in this world. I'm just a typical guy that plays games and likes finances. So that's all I'm gonna say about myself. I'm not any genius or anything like that. So I'm just a guy that plays games, that likes talking about investments and finances, and hopefully you're able to gain some understanding of what a 401k is now after this video. So if you have any idea of what you would like me to discuss, whether it's the Roth IRA or whether it's specifically getting to stocks and what that is, go ahead and leave me a comment and I would have no problem discussing it for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully this could be a consistent process. If you guys like it, I may try and come out with more videos in the future. Alright, now I'm going to leave you guys off with me finishing up this match. Hopefully I win, but Connor is not that easy to beat. Oops, oh, just missed that kick. Oops.
nasty body shot.
Oops.
Back to the feet.
Oof. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you guys liked the video. And you can stay tuned for my next topic, which might be the Roth IRA. Take care, gentlemen and ladies. Have a good night.